North and South Korea may be neighbors, but these two states couldn't be any more different. South Koreans have more rights, more knowledge, and more freedom to express themselves through their fashion and hairstyles. But their neighbors up north are often left in the dark, unaware of what's really going on throughout the rest of the world. You'll want to stick around to see North Korea's clothing rules and restrictions, as well as the hairstyles they're forced to wear. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Today, we'll be showing you the 10 differences between North Korea and South Korea. Plastic surgery. North Korea likes to tell its people that they're at the forefront of every industry, including the beauty market. But this couldn't be any further from the truth. South Korea has proven to be a leader in the industry, and many beauty products and beauty rituals have begun there. The world has taken notice at how influential the southern state really is in the beauty world. And in 2015, makeup brand Estee Lauder even purchased an interest in a South Korean skincare company. Something like this would never happen in the North because North Koreans aren't familiar with global beauty trends at all. Many of the people in the North can't afford makeup products or cosmetic surgery even if they wanted to. However, for wealthy North Koreans, they're able to visit state-run offices and clinics to undergo minor procedures. Eyelid surgery and lip micropigmentation procedures are some of the most popular cosmetic surgeries in the North. Although plastic surgery is illegal in the northern state, women don't think twice about shelling out cash to subtly transform their looks. Many of them choose to have these procedures done because they think being beautiful will increase their chances of finding a job far away from the constraints of North Korea. Fashion. If you're looking for the latest trend in fashion and pop culture trends, look no further than South Korea. This state is known for popularizing new fashion styles and inspiring fashionistas from all corners of the globe. K-pop stars and other South Korean celebrities have brought colorful, alternative fashion trends mainstream. But in North Korea, things are much different. The only access they have to do what's hot and what's not is from viewing smuggled materials, like TV shows and magazines. But unfortunately, they don't get access to these images and videos until years after it has been released. This is why a lot of North Koreans are behind on the times in terms of their fashion choices. But even if they wanted to keep up with the rest of the world, they're strictly forbidden from wearing clothing inspired by Western culture, and they're also banned from having piercings. North Koreans can't wear jeans, and women's trousers must be loose-fitting so that they're not too revealing. Anything that's too decorated or embellished could also cause serious trouble from a North Korean. And the government isn't afraid to punish them for breaking the dress code by giving them a long lecture or forcing them to perform hard labor. We are very excited to show you our new platform, the Premium. Get early access to thousands of videos from your favorite channels, including The Taco, The Things, The Trendy, and The Richest. It's all in one place and ad-free browsing. Sign up for the Premium for free and get ready to binge watch just one more video. Height difference. One of the most fascinating differences between those in North and South Korea is their height difference. Some have blamed the short stature of North Koreans on genetics, but that has proven to be false. Researchers have concluded that there isn't a big difference between the populations of those in the North and those in the South, so genetics play a very small factor. So what's the real reason why North Korean adults and children are much shorter than their neighbors in the South? Well, it all comes to their diet and lack thereof. The amount of food a child receives while growing up can impact how tall they are as an adult. Since North Koreans are constantly facing crop shortages and a lack of food, it's no surprise that their children and adults are a lot tinier. A professor at the university in Seoul has studied the heights of North Korean refugees who crossed the border into South Korea, and the facts were alarming. In total, North Korean men are about 1.2 to 3.1 inches shorter than their South Korean counterparts, and the difference between North and South Korean children is just as shocking. Preschool boys are 1.6 inches shorter in North Korea, while North Korea preschool girls are 1.2 inches shorter on average. Holidays. South Koreans share a few holidays with the people in the North, including New Year's Day and Liberation Day, but that's where the similarities end. South Koreans have way more national and observed holidays, and they are also allowed to observe any religious holiday they choose. But in North Korea, most of their recognized holidays are dedicated to the state's past and present leaders. They don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and they don't celebrate Christmas either. Instead, December 24th is a holiday dedicated to the birth of Kim Jong-suk, the deceased mother of Kim Kim Jong-il. And on December 27th, North Koreans are given the day off to celebrate Constitution Day. So why does the government restrict which holidays can be observed in the North? Well, it all comes down to control. The North Korean government goes to great lengths to keep information about their religion and holidays a secret from its people. This is due to the government blaming underground churches for helping 20,000 North Koreans escape to China. To keep their people under their control, they cut off access to religions that may encourage North Koreans to seek a better way of life. Famine. Famine is described as an extreme shortage of food, and it's a serious problem that has plagued the northern state for decades. In the 90s, a devastating famine crisis swept the north, and it was exacerbated by a loss of support from the Soviet Union and the collapse of the agriculture industry. Hundreds of thousands of North Koreans, if not more, starved as a result. The people of the north were even forbidden from even saying the word hunger, so instead they were left to starve in silence. In South Korea, things are much different. It's almost like night and day. In the South, they are aware of the struggle against malnutrition and hunger, especially after their state was rocked by World War II and the Korean War. In order to fight against the threat of hunger taking lives of people worldwide, South Korea goes out of its way to join initiatives that fight famine. They even join the Zero Hunger Challenge on a quest to end world hunger. In comparison, the North's government has warned its people that the possibility of another bout of famine is a strong possibility. Living life in fear of being starved is never the way anyone should have to live. Military. In 2015, North Korea made it mandatory that all women between the ages of 17 and 20 must serve in their military. The state had a plan to strengthen the nation's armed forces, and they felt the best way to do so was to require women to enlist. In the North, the freedom to choose their own life path is stripped away from them, and their lives are out of their own control. But in the South, things are much more different. Men in South Korea are required to serve, but women aren't. However, in 2010, things changed for women in the southern state. An attack by North Korea prompted many South Korean women to sign up for the Seoul Armed Forces in droves. Data revealed that over 10,000 Southern women had enlisted in the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps at an all-time high. These women are also allowed to be leaders in the armed forces, and there are some who serve as generals in the military, and many others who have senior military ranks. South Korean women are more determined than ever to protect their state from North Korea and other enemies at all costs. But the huge difference is they have the freedom to choose whether or not they want to enlist, while those in the North don't have the same luxury. Devotion to their leaders. The people of the South have the right to protest, march, and rally against anything that goes against their religious or political beliefs. For example, in 2016, an estimated 500,000 to 1.5 million South Koreans took to the streets of central Seoul to demand their president be impeached. After 6 weeks of protests, their words were heard loud and clear, and the leader of the state was finally ousted. But something like this would never ever happen in North Korea. To start, they aren't even allowed to speak harshly about their leader, Kim Jong-un. They're expected to devote their entire lives to him and treat him as a god. When his father, Kim Jong-il, passed away, mourners took to the streets to show their grief. Although the leader had treated them poorly with his strict rules and famine that destroyed their lives, they were forced to put on a staged display of grief. They are forced to have allegiance towards the entire Kim family, no matter how they may have ruined their lives. Many of those in the North have portraits of both Kims hanging in their homes and public buildings, and their leaders' birthdays are two of the most important holidays that are celebrated in the state. They're not even allowed to make jokes at their leader's expense, something a few military members found out the hard way. In April 2016, members of North Korea's army mocked Kim Jong-un and compared him to a kindergartner. And guess what? They were immediately placed under arrest. Music and entertainment. Many of those in the North have no idea what's going on in the entertainment industry outside of their little bubble. North Korea creates its own TV programs and propaganda that its citizens are forced to watch. Listening to the radio and freely browsing the internet are two luxuries those in the North aren't free to have. Radio signals are jammed, and the airwaves play state-approved messages at all times. These recordings blast through every home and business and are impossible to turn off. Fax machines are illegal, and computers have to be registered with the police before they are used. used. In order to have access to the outside world of entertainment, many North Koreans have resorted to smuggling in soap operas and television shows. The North Korean government is desperate to stop the smuggling and the spreading of these entertainment outlets because they're afraid it could encourage North Koreans to finally fight back and start anti-government protests. Programs from South Korea, including shows called Bad Housewife and Red Bean Bread, have slowly infiltrated the northern people's lives, and they just can't get enough of it. While South Koreans can watch various programs and listen to any music that their heart desires, those in the north are living a life full of restrictions and insane rules. The northern government does give their people the luxury of going to movie theaters to enjoy a film, but like most things in North Korea, this luxury sounds more like a nightmare. The theaters only show films that are created and produced by the government, and just as you suspected, all the movies that are shown are dedicated to the Kim family. Poverty. Living in North Korea means you're likely to be one of the many people who is living in extreme poverty. In 2010, North Korea scored 19.4 on the Global Hunger Index. Their alarming ranking was based on the number of kids who are undernourished, underweight, and suffering from malnutrition, all which are linked to poverty. In the north, the people live on a diet that consists primarily of corn and kimchi because that's all they can really afford. Many of them don't even have access to any other types of food, and they don't have fuel to allow them to have functioning cooking appliances. But those in the north don't understand how horrible their lives really are. They've been forced to read propaganda that depicts the north as superior and the south as a state who has an issue with poverty. And of course, the truth is the complete opposite. Northerners are battling poor living conditions, and the malnutrition epidemic has led to a devastating tuberculosis epidemic. The government denies there's a problem, and they continue to claim that there's free healthcare for everyone in the north. But the main issue is, many northerners are so poor, they can't even afford to purchase the expensive medicine that will help cure their diseases and ailments. Hairstyles. All you have to do is take a look at the hairstyles of some of the most popular South Koreans to see what the latest style trends are. Jimin, one of the members of the South Korean boy band BTS, sports an array of different styles to express himself. We've seen him rock everything from ashy blonde hair to ruby red and bubblegum pink. But the people of North Korea would never be able to experiment with different hair colors and haircuts. Believe it or not, the government only allows a certain style do for men and women. In 2005, it was reported that a state-approved TV program aired a 5-part series on what acceptable hairstyles the Northerners should wear. Women are allowed to choose from 14 different hairstyles, but the requirements are different if you have a ring on your finger or if you're single. Married women are required to keep their hair short, while the single ladies are allowed to have long, curly hair. For the fellas, they can't grow their hair longer than 2 inches in length, but older men are allowed to live life on the wild side by growing their hair to a maximum length of 3 inches. Which of these differences between North and South Korea shocked you the most? Feel free to leave your answer down below in the comments section. Thanks for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out our friends at The Trendy to see more cool videos for teenagers. Thanks for watching.